Welcome in the newest top. Have you ever wondered what's the most interesting thefts in the world? Today I'm going to show you best top 10 of interesting thefts. We will move to USA, Jamaica, Russia and much more. So, without further ado, I invite you to watch it. Guarantees that some thefts are quite funny. So, let's go, shall we? Number 10. The Bridge. Near Murmansk in Russia, thieves committed a very brave and costly robbery. They managed to steal 23 meters long railway bridge that weighed 56 tons. What's interesting is that the disappearance of the bridge was only noticed after 1 month. The obvious thing is that it wasn't used. Local media believe that the bridge was collapsed on purpose, so its remains were later cut and sold for a scrap. Russian police initially rejected a report of the stolen bridge. In its best days, the bridge was used for the rail transport of rare metals from nearby factory. After 2007, the company that used the bridge filed for bankruptcy and the track was removed and the bridge was left alone. The prosecutor office in Kirovsk was investigating this case. Apparently still no thieves found. Number 9. Bell. In 2005, on January 18, a gigantic bell weighing approximately 1,360 kilograms was stolen from a Buddhist temple in Vietnam. The abbot of the temple, Thich Phu Ton, said that the thieves needed a forklift to move the bell. He adds that the thieves most likely stole it for profit. Apparently in the course of the theft, they didn't think about the importance of this element in the practice of Buddhism. Immediately after it was discovered that the bell has disappeared from its destination, the police were called to take notes. Although Tone say it's unlikely that the bell will return to the temple. This relic was rarely used. Only on special occasion, when struck with a hammer, it made clear continuous tone aimed at awakening the soul and cleansing the mind of the impurities. Number 8. Tank. On May 17, 1995, Sean Nielsen, a plumber and a US Army veteran, stole an M60A3 Patton tank from the US National Guard Armory in San Diego. Media write that Sean fell into frenzy running over cars, hydrants and the buses. According to San Diego police reports, the week before tank was stolen, Nielsen told his friend that he was thinking of committing suicide, and a few days later he mentioned to his friend that the bombing of Oklahoma was a good thing. It isn't known whether it was Nielsen who carried out this attack, although the police don't believe that Sean had a connection with the attack or a terrorist group. On Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., Sean Nielsen drove his Chevrolet to the California National Guard Armory on May 17, 1995. The worker of this armory worked late, it's why the gate was open all the time. The tanks in this armory didn't require a key, but it was enough to press the start button to start the vehicle. Entering the third 57-ton M60A3 Patton tank, he was spotted by the guard. When the Sean started the vehicle, the security officer informed the police about the theft. After 23 minutes chase after the stolen tank, the vehicle was finally immobilized. Sean didn't want to give up, which is why he was shot. Number 7. Empire State Building. This story happened for real. The New York Daily News has stolen the plans of the Empire State Building worth roughly $2 billion. The press decided to steal the plans of skyscraper in order to reveal a loophole in the city legal system. Journalists forged the necessary documents, including notary stamps and certificates worth £20. The name of King Kong actress Fei Wei and the bank robber Willie Sutton were on the documents. After just 90 minutes, the building's change of ownership was approved. Brooklyn District Attorney Richard Forrell said they could easily get a mortgage with the deed on their hands. Journalists from the New York Daily News didn't want to face legal consequences, so they returned the property to its rightful owners with 24 hours. Number 6. Tanker. In March 2014, the oil tanker Morning Glory, carrying 200,000 barrels worth more than $20 million, was stolen by pirates. The ship sailed from Libya, taking a course toward Cyprus, passing through the Suez Canal. Unconfirmed reports say that the tanker is sailing under the North Korean flag. The operation to retrieve the tanker from the rebels was carried out with the consent of the President of the United States, at the request of the governments of Libya and Cyprus. The ship was seized by 3 armed Libyans. Two American destroyers, Roosevelt and Soap, set off a pursuit of a stolen tanker. On board were Navy SEALs commandos who, using high-speed boats and a helicopter, got aboard on the Morning Glory. The oil on board the ship belonged to a Libyan national oil company and its partners, including companies from United States. The rebel who boarded the ship wanted to negotiate the amount of the money for which they could leave the tanker. Number 5. Tarbosaurus skull. In 2007, Nicolas Cage decided to buy Tarbosaurus skull for $276,000 in order to return it to the Mongolian government. It turns out that the skull was stolen from the Gobi Desert in Mongolia. From 2012, the US government began notoriously returning artifacts that had been stolen from Mongolia. A man named Eric Prokopy was arrested on suspicion of smuggling illegal goods and processing stolen property. In 2014, the man was sentenced for 3 months in prison. Tarbosaurus was closely related to the T-Rex, which was also large and carnivorous dinosaur. Paleontologists say that true thieves and smugglers will lose cultural artifacts that sometimes return to the hands of their rightful owners in very bad condition. 4. Church. In the central region of Russia, officials announced that they were looking for a missing church, and they even wrote that there was a reward for finding the remains of the building. People responsible for architecture in Russia claimed that the church was abandoned for some time, but was to be put into use in the near future. Most likely it was stolen by the local population. Father Vidali said that in early October, people from the nearby village of Komorovo, northeast of Moscow, decided to dismantle the building. Vitali added that the resident had mostly sold the bricks to a local businessman who offered them about 4 cents for one brick. This Orthodox priest say that the local people have committed a great sin. And number 3. Theft of sand. Sand theft is unauthorized or illegal extraction of a sand that leads to a permanent depletion of resources. This type of theft is known all over the world. In July 2008, it was discovered at Coral Spring Beach in Jamaica that approximately 400 meters of the beach was gone. It is said that in order to transport this amount of sand, about 500 dump trucks were loaded with sand and taken elsewhere on the island. In Jamaica, illegal sand extraction is a big problem, most likely due to high demand of building materials. The disappearance of sand from the beach was so important that Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding himself became interested in the theft. He ordered a report if anyone knew how such amount of sand could be stolen and transported and possibly sold. The police decided to conduct a forced examination to check other scraps of sand in different parts of the island. The investigation lasted 3 months but didn't lead to any charges. On number 2, we have Mustang Fighter. In 1992, an Israeli Air Force general decided to steal a Mustang Fighter from the World War II. The general, after noticing a plane at the airport where it was waiting for transport to the museum, he decided to spend some time restoring it before deciding to make a flight with the priceless artifact. This man flew to Sweden, where he sold the plane for $333,000. The plane is currently still used by Swedish companies and was only located after the Interpol International Police took charge to the case. And number 1, Mountain Peak. This Oscar Santillan cut a piece of the summit from the 3,209-foot Scafell Pike. This Ecuadorian visual artist says the removal of the top of the mountain was intended to show people how they are destroying nature. This artist was accused by environmentalists of vandalism. Santillan decided to break off a piece of the peak to show his rebellion against people destroying nature. At this moment, there are no much information about this act, although there was a lot of information on social media about this move, so against this man no charges were brought. Okay guys, thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon!